Good day! Our lesson for today is solving quadratic equations by factoring method. Some quadratic equations can be solved easily by factoring. To solve such quadratic equation, the following steps can be followed. Number 1. Transform the quadratic equation into standard form if necessary. Number 2. Factor the quadratic expression. 3. Apply the zero product property by setting each factor of a quadratic expression equal to 0. ZPP, or the zero product property, states that if the product of two real numbers is 0, then either of the two is equal to 0 or both numbers are equal to 0. Then lastly, solve each resulting equation and check. Let us take note of the following examples. Number 1. X squared plus 7x is equal to 0. Since the quadratic equation is already written in standard form, we can now proceed to factoring the quadratic expression. Therefore, we have x times the sum of x plus 7 is equal to 0. Then we apply the zero product property and solve the resulting equation. Therefore, we have x is equal to 0 as the first root. X plus 7 is equal to 0. Therefore, we have x is equal to negative 7 as the second root. To determine whether the roots that we have solved are real solution or not, we are now going to substitute the solved value of x to the original equation. So, if x is 0, we are going to have 0 squared plus 7 times 0. Is it equal to 0? Yes, because multiplication by 0 is 0, so therefore 0 is equal to 0. That makes x is equal to 0 a real root. If x is equal to negative 7, we have negative 7 squared, so that is 49, plus 7 times negative 7, so we have negative 49. Therefore, 49 plus negative 49, that is equal to 0. Therefore, the roots are 0 and negative 7, which are both real roots. Next, t squared plus 8t plus 16 is equal to 0. We factor, therefore we have t plus 4 times t plus 4 is equal to 0. Since the two factors are identical, we can now solve for the value of t, which is negative 4. And negative 4 is the real solution. If we are going to substitute negative 4 to the original equation, it would result to a true mathematical statement. Number 3. 15x squared minus 3x is equal to 12. Since it is not written in standard form, we are going to transform it into 1. So therefore, we have 15x squared minus 3x minus 12 is equal to 0. Then we factor the quadratic expression. So we have 5x plus 4 times 3x minus 3 is equal to 0. Then we apply ZPP to each factor, then proceed to solve for the resulting linear equation. So we have 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. Transpose positive 4 to the other side. So we have 5x is equal to negative 4. Then divide both sides by 5. So therefore, x is equal to negative 4/5. Next, 3x minus 3 is equal to 0. Solving for the linear equation, we have 3x is equal to 3. Divide both sides by 3. Therefore, x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 4/5 are both real solutions of the equation 15x squared minus 3x is equal to 12. Because if they are to be substituted to the original equation, it would result to a true mathematical statement. Let us have another example. X squared plus 15x plus 54 is equal to 0. So we factor the quadratic expression. We have x plus 6 times x plus 9 is equal to 0. Then apply the ZPP. So then solve for the resulting linear equation. Therefore, we have the roots, negative 6 and negative 9, which are both real solutions of the equation. Number 2, 18x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. So we factor, then set each factor to equal to 0. Then solve the linear equation. Therefore, x is equal to negative 2/3 and positive 2/3, which are both real solutions of the equation. We can also use AC method and X method in factoring. Let us watch this clip how it is done.
Okay, so now we are going to solve quadratic equation by factoring method. So in this method, we could apply 5 simple steps. So first, we need to transform the quadratic equation into standard form. Syempre, kung kailangan lang. Second is to factor the quadratic expression. Third, we apply the ZPP or the zero product property by setting each of the factors equal to 0. Then fourth, we solve for the resulting equation. Then last is to check. This is the most important step because in this process or in this step, we can identify whether the obtained values of the variable are real solutions or not. So for example, we have 6m squared minus 42m. Okay, so since the equation is already written in standard form, we can now proceed to step 2. That is to factor the quadratic expression. So, the expression has a common monomial factor. So, anong gagawin natin is to factor out the common monomial factor. So, we have to write 6m, the common monomial factor. Then, we divide the CMF or the common monomial factor to the quadratic expressions. So 6m squared divided by 6m is m. Negative 42m divided by 6m is negative 7. So we have 6m and m minus 7 as the factors of the quadratic expression 6m squared minus 42m. So next is for us to apply the ZPP or the zero product property. So, isi-set natin each factor equal to 0. Pagkatapos, iso-solve na. Okay? So, 6m is equal to 0. So, in order to solve for m, we must divide both sides by 6 para ma-cancel out yung coefficient na kasama ng variable natin na m. So, therefore, m is equal to 0 divided by 6 is 0. While the second resulting equation, m minus 7 is equal to 0, itra-transpose lang natin si negative 7 sa kabilang side. So, take note, pag magtra-transpose, you change the sign. So, from negative 7, it becomes positive 7. Okay? So, next is for us to determine whether 0 and 7 are real solutions or not. Okay? So, if m is equal to 0, kailangan pag nag-check tayo, ang gagamitin pa rin is the original equation. So, we replace m by 0. So, 6 times 0 squared minus 42 times 0. Is it equal to 0? Okay. So, 6 times 0 squared is 0 minus 42 times 0 is 0. So, 0 is equal to 0. So, check. Okay. Next, if m is equal to 7. So, same process, we replace all m's by 7. Is it equal to 0? So, 6 times 7 squared is 49. This is 49. 7 squared is 49 times 6. So you have 294. Minus 42 times 7. So you have negative 294. So 294 minus 294, that is 0. It's equal to 0. So as you can see, both obtained values of m makes the resulting or makes the quadratic equation a true mathematical statement. So therefore, we can say that 0 and 7 are both real roots. They are both real roots of the quadratic equation. 6m squared minus 42m is equal to 0. Okay. Now, meron tayong dalawa pang steps or dalawa pang methods in solving factoring. Okay? If your a is greater than 1, pwede nating i-apply yung AC method. Okay? So, AC method kasi we are actually using or taking into consideration the values of A and C. So, in AC method, we have 5 simple steps. So, una, we multiply the values of A and C. So, eto muna ha, yung gagamitin nating example. Since our A here is 6, it is greater than 1. So, first step, we multiply the values of A and C. So, our A is 6. Our C, since wala tayong C na naka-indicate dyan, understood that our C is 0. So, the product of A and C is 0. Next, second step, we are going to find the factors of A times C such that when added is equal to B. E ano ba yung B natin? Negative 42. So, ano yung dalawang factors ng 0 na pag pinag-add natin equals sa negative 42? So, the two factors would be 0 and negative 42. Diba? 0 times negative 42 is 0. 0 plus negative 42 is negative 42. Okay, third step. We are going to form two binomial factors by using the leading coefficient to be the coefficient of the variable while the factors of A and C be the constant term. So, gagawa tayo ng dalawang binomial factors. We are going to use the leading coefficient, which is 6. Okay, yan yung leading coefficient natin, to be the coefficient of our variable. So, it will actually serve as the first term of our binomial factors. So, we have 6m. Okay, while the two factors of A and C will become the constant term. So, we have 6m plus 0, 6m minus 42. Okay, next step. We are going to simplify each binomial by dividing both terms by their common factor. So, ano ba ang common factor ng binomial natin? Okay. We have so in our first binomial factor, meron ba tayong common binomial factors? Meron ba? Wala. So, we just have to bring it down. So, we have 6m plus 0. Okay. This is the fourth. Well, the second one, 6m minus 42. 6m minus 42. Meron bang common factor ang 6m at saka negative 42? Meron, di ba? Which is 6. So, i-divide natin yung 6 sa both terms ng binomial factor natin. So, 6m divided by 6 is m. Negative 42 divided by 6 is negative 7. Okay? So, yung 6m minus 42 naging m minus 7. Okay? So, sinimplify natin yung binomial factors, yung dalawang binomial factors, as 6m plus 0 times m minus 7. Since 0 na to, pwede na nating i-cancel out actually yan. So, we have 6m times m minus 7 is equal to 0. Okay? Then, fifth step, we equate each binomial factor to 0. Again, we are going to apply the ZPP or the zero product property. So, you have 6m is equal to 0. I-solve na rin natin. So, divide both sides by 6. So, therefore, m is equal to 0. The other one is m minus 7 is equal to 0. M minus 7 is equal to 0. Solving for m, transpose lang natin si m. So, pag nag-transpose, palaging tatandaan, magpapalit ng sign. So, from negative 7, magiging positive 7. So, as you can see, pareho lang yung lumabas na values ng m using the two methods. Okay. Now, let us have the third method. And that is actually the X method. Okay? So, X method, because we are going to write a big letter X. Okay? We are going to write a big letter X. Yung steps in factoring using the X method is similar, just similar to the AC method. Okay? So, ang first step natin is to find the factors of AC that would give us the value of B. So, ano daw yung factors ng AC that if we are going to add would give us the value of B. So, yung product ng A and C will be written dito sa taas. Okay? While the value of B will be written here. Dito sa left and right, dyan yung factors ng A, C. Factors of A, C. Okay? So, going back to our original equation, yung equation na ginagamit natin kanina. Okay? So, 6m squared minus 42m. So, our A is 6, our C is 0. So, 6 times 0 is 0. The value of our B is negative 42. So, what are the factors of 0 that would give us a sum of negative 42? That would be 0 and negative 42. Next is step. So, that is the first step. Second step, we are going to divide each factor, yung 0 and negative 42, by the leading coefficient or by the value of A. Ano yung A natin? 6. So, we divide the factors by 6. So, therefore, 0 divided by 6 is 0. Negative 42 divided by 6 is negative 7. Okay? So, we have negative 7 and 0. Next, last step. We can now give the roots. Okay? So, the roots is actually the numbers that we have obtained on step 2, but we need to change the sign. So, since 0 is unsigned number, 0 pa rin siya. Wala namang negative 0 at plus positive 0, di ba? Well, negative 7 would become opposite of negative 7, positive 7. So, these are the roots. So, as you can see, using the three methods, para-pareho lang na 0 and 7 yung na-obtain nating values of M. Okay, so now we are going to have 11x plus 2x squared is equal to negative 15. So we apply the AC method. So using AC method, first step, syempre, para ma-identify natin yung value ng A, B, and C, kailangan nating i-transform ito, yung equation natin, into standard form. So you have 2x squared plus 11x. Transpose natin si negative 15, magiging positive 15 na siya, is equal to 0. Okay? So, our A is 2, while our C is 15. Okay? So, the product of A and C is 30. Step 2. What are the factors of 30 that if we are going to add together would give us 11, which is the value of B? We have the factors that would give us a sum of 11. It is 6 and 5. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay? So next, we are going to form two binomial factors using the leading coefficient to be the coefficient of our variable. So you have 2x, 2x din dyan. Tapos yung factors ng A and C, yun yung magiging constant term. So you have plus 6 plus 5. Sila yung magiging constant term dun sa binomial factor na ginawa natin. Next, we are going to simplify by dividing the greatest common factor for both equations or both binomial factors. So, 2x plus 6. What is the GCF of 2x plus 6? We have 2. So, divide both yan by 2. So, therefore, we have x plus 3. This is our first binomial. Sa second binomial natin, meron ba? Wala. So, therefore, sa step 4, we have x plus 3 times 2x plus 5. Isi-simplify lang natin yung sa step 4, isi-simplify lang natin yung na-obtained natin or na-form nating binomial sa step 3. So, step 5, we are going to equate. We are now going to equate each of the binomial factors equal to 0. So, we have x plus 3 is equal to 0. The other one, 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. So, we transpose positive 3 to the other side. So, x is equal to negative 3. Yun yung first value ng x natin. While here, in the second, we have 2x transpose positive 5. So, naging negative 5 na. Then, divide both sides by 2. So, therefore, x is equal to negative 5 over 2. Okay? Subukan natin gamitin sa x method. So, dito yung factors or product ng A and C. So, we have 30. Across it or below it is the value of B, which is 11. Sa left and right side ng x are the factors of 30 that would give us a sum of 11. And what numbers would it be? That would be 6 and 5. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay? So, next is to divide 6 and 5 by the value of A. What is the value of our A? The value of A is 2. So, we divide both sides, both factors by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 5 divided by 2 is 5 divided by 2 or 5 over 2. So therefore, the values of x are, you just change the sign of the factors. So we have negative 3 and negative 5 over 2. So, pareho lang yung nakuha natin. Tama? Okay? Okay, so let us check whether the obtained values of x are real solutions or not. So, again, we are going to make use of the original equation in checking. So, if x is negative 3, we are going to replace all the x's by negative 3. Okay, so 11 times negative 3 is negative 33 plus 2 times negative 3 square. So negative 3 square is 9 times 2 is 18. Is it equal to negative 15? So negative 33 plus 18 is negative 15. So it is equal to negative 15. So therefore, x is equal to negative 3 is a real solution. Okay? Next, if x is equal to negative 5 over 2. So we have 11 times negative 5 over 2 plus 2 times negative 5 over 2 squared. Is it equal to negative 15? Okay, so 11 times negative 5 over 2 is negative 55 over 2 plus 2 times negative 5 over 2 times 2. So you have 2 times 25 over 4. Is it equal to negative 15? So you have negative 55 over 2 plus 2 times 25 over 4 is actually 25 over 2. Okay, so since these are similar fractions, we can combine them right away. So over 2, negative 55 plus 25 is negative 30 over 2. Copy the common denominator. So negative 30 over 2 is actually negative 15. So therefore, x is equal to negative 5 over 2 is also a real root or real solution of the quadratic equation 11x plus 2x squared is equal to negative 15. Okay, what if we have 2x minus 3 squared is equal to 2x squared plus 5x minus 26? So first, we are going to get the product of this binomial, square of a binomial. So we have 2x minus 3 squared is 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. So it is equal to 2x squared plus 5x minus 26. Next is for us to combine similar terms. So you have 4x squared minus 2x squared. We transpose positive 2x, so it becomes negative 2x squared. Then bring down negative 12x. Transpose positive 5x, so it becomes negative 5x. Bring down positive 9. Then transpose negative 26, so it becomes positive 26. So this is equal to 0. Okay, so we combine all similar terms. So 4x squared minus 2x squared is 2x squared. Negative 12x minus 5x is negative 17x. Then you have 9 plus 26, so you have positive 35. So equal to 0. So, eto na ngayon yung standard form ng ating quadratic equation. So, next, isosolve na natin. So, pwede natin gamitin yung x method. So, gagawa tayo ng big letter X. Then, we get the product of A and C. So, that is 2 times 35. So, therefore, we have 70. Yung value ng B is right across the product of A and C. Then, ano ang factors ng 70 na magbibigay sa atin ng negative 17? Since ang sum natin is negative, okay, and our product is positive, it means that the factors are both negative. So, ano yung mga numbers na yun? So, product of 70, that would give us a sum of negative 17. So, that would be negative 10 and negative 7. So, negative 10 times negative 7 is positive 70. Negative 10 plus negative 7, so you have negative 17. So, next, we are going to divide the factors by the value of A. So, we are going to divide it by 2. So, negative 10 divided by 2, so you have negative 5. Well, negative 7 over 2 is negative 7 2. Okay, negative 7 over 2. So, therefore, the roots would be x is equal to, take the opposite of negative 5, so we have positive 5. And x is equal to the opposite of negative 7 over 2. So, therefore, we have positive 7 over 2. Okay, so let us check whether the roots that we have solved are real roots. So, we are going to use the original equation. We have 2x minus 3 squared is equal to 2x squared plus 5x minus 26. Okay, so we are going to replace or substitute the solved value of x to our original equation. So let us first have x is equal to 5. So if x is equal to 5, so therefore you have 2 times 5 minus 3 squared is equal to 2 times 5 squared plus 5 times 5 minus 26. So, isi-simplify natin. So, 2 times 5 is 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 squared is 49. Next, 5 square is 25 times 2 is 50. Sulat natin, 50. Then, 5 times 5 is positive 25 minus 26. So, bring down 49. 50 plus 25 is 75 minus 26. So, therefore, you have 49. Okay? So, that means x is equal to 5 is a real solution. Okay, next we have if x is equal to 7 over 2. So, again, we are going to substitute 7 over 2 to all the x's in our equation. So, therefore, you have 2 times 7 over 2 minus 3 squared is equal to 2 times 7 over 2 squared minus 5 times 7 over 2 minus 26. Okay? So, 2 times 7 over 2 is 7. Minus 3 is 4. 4 square is 16. So, that is equal to 2 times 7 over 2 square. So, 7 over 2 square is actually 49 over 2 times 2. Or 49 over 4. So, times 2. So, therefore, we have 49 over 2. Okay? Next, we have negative 5 times 7 over 2. So, you have negative 35 over 2 minus 26. So, we have 16 equal to 49 minus 35 over 2. So, that is 14 over 2. Okay? So, 14 over 2 is actually 7. So, 7 minus 26. So, erase natin yan. So, 7 minus 26. 7 minus 26 is what? We have negative 19. Since 16 is not equal to negative 19, that means 7 over 2 is not a real solution. It is actually an extraneous root. So therefore, the solution or the roots of 2x minus 3 squared is equal to 2x squared plus 5x minus 26 is x equal to 5. This is the only real solution. We are going to exclude 7 over 2 because it is an extraneous solution or it is an extraneous root. Why? Because it makes our statement a false mathematical statement because obviously 16 is not equal to negative 19. Okay?
Okay, so it's now time to test yourself by doing the following activity. So you're given minutes to solve for the roots by using the factoring method. You have the option to pause this video. Then, after answering the activity, you may proceed. Okay? So, let us check your answer. Okay, so for number 1, the roots are 2 and 4. For number 2, the roots are negative 5 and 1. Number 3, we have negative 2/3 and positive 2/3. For number 4, we have negative 4 and positive 11. For number 5, we have negative 2. And for number 6, we have 3 and 7. Did you score well? Very good. For lesson handouts and others, you may visit our webpage. Until our next lesson, thank you and God bless. Happy learning!